Thomas and the Big Bang. Thomas is a cheeky little engine. He likes to have fun with his friends. He likes playing hide and peep with Percy. And he enjoys joking with James. One day, Thomas was fitted with a brand new whistle. The whistle gleamed, and Thomas beamed. And he blew it all day long. He blew it softly, and he blew it loudly. He blew it in stations, and he blew it in Misty Valley. Thomas thought it the most wonderful whistle he had ever had. Thomas puffed into the wharf with a train of empty trucks. The thin controller was there. "Thomas," he said, "the narrow-gauge engines are bringing bricks, flour and timber. They must be loaded into your trucks by tea time." The thin controller left. Thomas felt very happy, so he blew his new whistle loudly. Rheneas was surprised. He jumped and biffed into his trucks. Skarloey and Sir Handel laughed. Even Rheneas thought it was funny. "That was fun," tooted Thomas. Now he wanted to play more jokes and have more fun. So Thomas chuffed off to look for another engine to peep. Later, Rusty puffed into the wharf. He was shunting trucks full of bright red bricks. They were to be unloaded into Thomas's empty trucks. But Thomas wanted to have more fun. He rolled up behind Rusty. Rheneas and Skarloey held their puff. Thomas blew his new whistle, peep. Rusty jumped and he biffed his trucks. Rusty was covered in red brick dust. Skarloey and Rheneas both laughed. Thomas thought it was tremendous fun. Rusty thought it was fun too. Now he wanted to join in. "Can't catch me," hooted Rusty. And he steamed around the wharf. Thomas puffed after him. Everyone was laughing and having fun. But no one collected the bricks. Then Thomas had another idea. "Sir Handel will be arriving with the trucks of flour soon," he tooted. "Why don't we all peep 'em at once?" The little engines were excited, and they all found hiding places. As Sir Handel puffed into the wharf, there was nobody to be seen. "Now!" Thomas cried. He blew his new whistle as loudly as he could. The little engines blew their whistles too. Sir Handel biffed his trucks in surprise. Flour flew up into the air like a great white cloud. "You look like a ghost," laughed Rusty. "Whoa!" laughed Sir Handel. "Look at me, I'm a ghost." And he steamed away. Soon all the engines were chasing each other, and no one was doing any work. Thomas had another idea. "Peter Sam is on his way. Let's peep him as well." And the little engines agreed this was a very good idea. Peter Sam trundled into the wharf. Thomas got ready with his whistle. The little engines got ready too. Beep! Peter Sam shot forward. He bashed into his flatbed so hard they burst through the buffers, smashed through oil drums stacked on the wharf, and splashed into the canal. "Oh my!" cried the little engines. "Cinders and ashes!" cried Thomas. The thin controller arrived at the wharf. "What has been going on here?" he said sternly. "There are bricks all over the rails, flour all over the warehouse, and now timber is in the canal." "I'm sorry, sir," wheezed Thomas sadly. "It's all my fault. I just wanted to play jokes and have fun." The thin controller was very cross. "You must clear up this mess at once," he cried, "and your trucks must be loaded by tea time." As soon as the workmen had reloaded the bricks, Thomas started to work. But the little engines still wanted to play. They wanted to wheeze the dust and flour at each other. "No more jokes," whistled Thomas. "We have work to do." And he shunted the trucks into a siding. New trucks of flour were now ready, and Thomas took them to the sidings as well. At last the workmen had the timber wagons ready, and Thomas shunted them into the siding too. Finally, Thomas had one long train of bricks, flour and timber, and it wasn't even tea time. The thin controller came back. He saw Thomas, but Thomas was hiding his trucks. "Where are your trucks?" said the thin controller crossly. Thomas smiled. He was playing a trick. He puffed forward slowly. "Here they are, sir," he whistled happily, "loaded up and ready to go." The little engines laughed, and the thin controller laughed too. "Thomas," he said, "that was a good joke. You are a really funny engine." And Thomas puffed happily away. Thomas and the Stinky Cheese. The island of Sodor is beautiful all year round. In summer, the hedges are full of brightly coloured birds. The fields are full of animals, and the smell of wildflowers fills the air. Thomas was at the coaling plant. He was shunting trucks with Diesel, Harry and Bert. Thomas didn't like working with the diesel engines, and the diesel engines didn't like working with Thomas. The problem with working with steamies is that they are much too stinky. "And Thomas is the most stinky steamy ever," hooted Bert. Diesel, Harry and Bert laughed and laughed. "It's not steamies who are stinky," Thomas puffed crossly. "It's the diesels." Just then the fat controller arrived at the yard. "Thomas, I need you to go to the dairy. There is a delivery waiting for you there." Thomas was happy to be away from the diesels. He was pleased to be going to the dairy. "Maybe I will be taking cream to the chocolate factory," he tooted. But when Thomas arrived at the dairy, his trucks were full of stinky cheese. "Yuck!" huffed Thomas. "That's the stinkiest cheese I have ever smelt." "You must take it to the docks before the ship leaves," said the dairy foreman. Thomas buffered up. Then he puffed to the docks with the stinky cheese. "Bust my buffers," said Thomas. "Everyone will smell this cheese for miles." Thomas saw Diesel waiting at a junction. "Oh no," moaned Thomas. "If Diesel smells how stinky I am, he'll tell everyone that I really am the stinkiest engine on Sodor. And I don't want everyone to think I'm stinky," he puffed. Thomas backed quickly along the track. "Thomas, stop!" the signalman called. "If you go that way, you'll be late." But Thomas had already gone. Thomas raced through the countryside. "No one will smell how stinky I am now," he chuffed. But then Thomas saw Harry waiting in the siding. "Oh no, it's Harry," moaned Thomas. "I can't let him smell how stinky I am." So Thomas backed quickly away and turned left at the next junction. Next, Thomas saw Bert, so this time he turned right. "Wherever I go, there are diesel engines," chuffed Thomas. Thomas puffed backwards and forwards across the island. He wanted to stay away from Diesel, Harry and Bert. But then there was trouble. "Oh no," groaned Thomas. "I'm back at the dairy, right where I started." Suddenly, Thomas saw Harry rumbling towards him. Thomas backed away as fast as he could, but he didn't see Bert pulling up behind him. Thomas bumped into Bert, the stinky cheese shot into the air and splattered down all over Thomas, Bert and Harry. "Now we're really stinky," moaned Harry. "The most stinkiest engines ever," groaned Bert. Harry and Bert rushed straight to the washdown. Thomas wanted to go to the washdown too, but Thomas's cheese was all over the track. "What am I going to do?" he puffed sadly. Then the dairy foreman arrived. "Thomas, there is another cheese load ready at the dairy, but you'll have to puff quickly," said the foreman. "The boat is waiting for you." Soon, Thomas was racing to the docks with a new delivery of cheese. Thomas could smell the stinky cheese. "Phew," he wished, but he knew he had to carry on. "Must get to the docks, must get to the docks," he chuffed. "Yuck, what a smelly delivery," wished James as he passed. Even though his friends could smell the stinky cheese, Thomas chuffed on. When he arrived at the docks, Diesel was there being unloaded. "You really are the stinkiest steam engine on Sodor, Thomas," he oiled. "Thomas has brought the stinky cheese," cheered the dock workers. "Well, John Thomas," said the Fat Controller, "Sodor cheese is famous for being really stinky, and this is the most stinky Sodor cheese I have ever smelt. You are a really useful engine." "Thank you, sir," puffed Thomas. "Now go to the washdown," added the Fat Controller. Just then, Harry and Bert arrived at the docks. They were shiny, clean and fresh from the washdown. "Diesel, Harry and Bert," boomed the Fat Controller. "Now you can shunt the stinky cheese." "Oh no," groaned Harry, Diesel and Bert. "Phew," puffed Thomas. "What a stink." Edward and the Mail. Edward is a very wise engine. He knows all about the Fat Controller's railway. The other engines know they can always ask Edward for help. One morning, the Fat Controller came to Tidmouth Sheds. "Percy has broken down. He's at the repair yard," boomed the Fat Controller. "I need another engine to take the mail." "Edward could do it," chirruped Emily. "Yes," huffed Henry. "Edward knows how to do everything." "Good idea," said the Fat Controller. But Edward had never taken the mail before. So Topham Hatt told Edward to collect the parcels and deliver them just like Percy. Edward wanted to ask how Percy would deliver the mail, but he didn't want to look silly. "I don't want the Fat Controller to think I can't deliver the mail," puffed Edward. "I'll have to work out how to do it by myself." When Edward arrived at the mail depot, the station master was waiting for him. "You have lots of parcels to deliver today," said the station master. "Some for Farmer McColl, some for the children's party at Maithwaite, and some more for the school." Edward didn't know which of the parcels to deliver first. "Maybe I should go to Farmer McColl's," Edward sighed. "Or maybe the school." Edward puffed up to a junction. Thomas was waiting. "Hello, Edward," chuffed Thomas. "Are you delivering the mail today?" Yes," puffed Edward. "You'll be good at that," tooted Thomas. Edward really wanted to ask Thomas which parcels he should deliver first, but Edward didn't want to look silly. The signal changed. Edward watched Thomas puff away. He was worried. "Everyone thinks I know how to do everything," Edward moaned. "I hope I can get it right." Edward decided to take the parcels to the children's party first. But Edward didn't know that Percy delivered the parcels in a special order. He accidentally left Farmer McColl's parcels with the children, and he whooshed away. Edward puffed across the countryside. Next, he delivered some parcels to the school. And finally, he delivered the rest of the parcels to Farmer McColl. "That was easy," chuffed Edward. "I made all the deliveries and I didn't have to ask anyone how to do it." He felt very proud and very relieved. But the Fat Controller was getting lots of phone calls. Edward had delivered the wrong parcels to the wrong places. When Edward found out what he had done, he was upset. "I'll have to deliver them again," he wheezed sadly. Edward knew everyone was waiting for their parcels. He would have to hurry. First, Edward collected the parcels from the children's party. Then, he collected the parcels from the school. "Now I have to collect the parcels from Farmer McColl," puffed Edward, and he steamed away. Edward was unhappy. "I must not be late with these deliveries," he chuffed. Edward didn't want to let the Fat Controller down. "I must hurry," he wheezed. Edward raced on. Mustn't be late, mustn't be late. But then, Edward had to stop at a junction. He didn't know which way was the fastest track to take to the farm. Edward was in such a rush, he didn't ask the signalman. "Stop!" shouted the signalman. "That track is closed." Edward rattled round a bend and straight into a barrier. Parcels flew everywhere. "I'll never deliver the parcels on time now," he moaned. Edward felt terrible. Soon the parcels were loaded back into Edward's trucks. Edward knew now he had to ask for help. "I must find Percy. I will ask him what to do." So Edward steamed off to the repair yard. Percy was still being fixed. Percy, will you tell me how to deliver the mail? Edward chuffed. Of course I will, peeped Percy. He didn't think Edward was silly for asking at all. I deliver the parcels in a special order. I always start with the delivery that is furthest away, puffed Percy. Then I work my way back to Tidmouth Sheds. Edward was very happy he had asked Percy what to do. So Edward puffed across the island. Now he knew how to deliver all the parcels in the right order. The children got their parcels in time for the party. The right parcels were delivered to the school, and Farmer McColl was very pleased. Everyone was happy. Everyone knew Edward was a wise engine, but now Edward felt even wiser. Wash behind your buffers. Up in the mountains there are many railway tracks that the little narrow gauge engines run on. There are also many roads. Madge is a snub-nosed lorry. She drives around the mountains and valleys, delivering goods to the villagers. Madge likes all the narrow gauge engines. Madge is very kind. She likes to take care of everyone she meets. One morning, Mr. Percival, the Thing Controller, came to see Madge. There is to be a country show and engine rally, he said, and Rheneas and Skarloey are to lead the rally. How wonderful, said Madge. The engines must be extra clean and shiny. I need you to take them some soap and brushes. Of course, smiled Madge. I'll deliver them right away. And make sure you're back in plenty of time, added the Thing Controller. You have a very important job. You are to pull the brass band. You need to be clean too. How exciting, exclaimed Madge. I'll be the cleanest lorry you have ever seen. Madge was very proud. This will be the grandest country show and engine rally ever, she smiled. There was a lot to do. First, Madge went to see Rheneas. Rheneas had been working at the coal mine. He was very dirty, but soon he was being washed and scrubbed for the country show. Madge watched. She had to make sure Rheneas was extra clean and extra shiny for the engine rally. Get the engineer to scrub all the way round your number and nameplate, Madge told Rheneas. Madge made sure his whistle was washed and his boiler bands were buffed. There, Madge exclaimed. Now you're ready for the rally. And wash behind your buffers, she called as she drove away. Madge still had lots to do. But now Madge was late. She had to hurry. She drove faster and faster. The mountain roads were very dirty. This dirt will take a long time to get off, thought Madge. I must make sure I'm back in plenty of time. I have to be washed and polished too. But when Madge arrived at the quarry, Skarloey was very dirty. Goodness, said Madge, you're a real mucky buffers. We're going to have to work very hard to make sure you're extra clean for the engine rally. Soon Skarloey was covered in bubbles. Madge waited. She wanted to make sure he would be extra shiny. Scrub from the top of his funnel all the way down to his footplate, Madge told the engineer. It took a long time, but at last Skarloey was clean. Now you'll look grand at the engine rally. And one more thing, she called. Wash behind your buffers. Now, Madge really was late. Madge raced to the village. She drove down more dirt tracks. "Oh no," Madge moaned. "I hope I can still get clean in time." Rheneas and Skarloey were waiting in the village square. Their paintwork gleamed, their domes glistened in the sun. "You look grand," said the Thin Controller. He was very proud of his little engines. Then Madge arrived. She was filthy. The Thin Controller was surprised. "Oh dear," he said. "You're very dirty." "Don't worry," revved Madge. "I'll go and get washed and wiped right now." But mud had clogged up Madge's exhaust pipe. Suddenly she backfired. The mud sprayed all over Rheneas and Skarloey. "Oh no," cried Madge. Then Madge saw the brass band. Madge was worried. "How am I going to get you clean in time? I'm the dirtiest of all," she cried. "We could help get you clean," puffed Skarloey. "But you're dirty too," Madge moaned. "The band is waiting for you," chuffed Rheneas. Madge gasped. She knew she had to be extra clean and shiny to pull the brass band. It was time for her to get clean. "Make sure you clean her wheel arches," puffed Rheneas. "And wash her windscreen," chuffed Skarloey. Soon Madge was sparkling and clean. "Thank you," she said. "Now you have to get clean too." Madge was about to tell the engines how to get extra clean and extra shiny. Then she saw what the engineers were doing. They were scrubbing all around the number and nameplates. They washed the whistles and buffed the boiler bands. They scrubbed from the top of their funnels right down to their footplates. "My, what a wonderful job!" laughed Madge. "That's because you helped us before," puffed Rheneas. Madge smiled. She felt very happy. It was soon time for the country show and engine rally to begin. Madge sparkled and shone as she proudly pulled the brass band. "You both look wonderful," called Madge. But she still wasn't sure if they had washed behind their buffers.